you, Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And it is day 49. Day 49 is actually the last day. We actually just tack on the extra 50. I kind of round it up, but we're going to do a little, a little review tomorrow of everything. It's day 49 of what? Day 49 of Svirata Omer, 50-day period, well, 49-day period. That goes from Passover to Shavuot, or Shavuos. So I'm recording this in the dim mist of the past because I am offline because it's Sabbath, right? It's Sabbath today, the day this is being posted. Yeah, that's correct. So I can't record. I cannot record on Sabbath, but we basically made it through the entire way. At this point, and yeah, I have to tell you, I was just watching, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, episode 3, and you know, he's not doing so well, Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? He's not doing so well himself. He's a bit depressed. He's a bit famished. He's not really together at all. He's kind of falling apart, and it left me thinking, wow, that whole Jedi system is a bit weak, right? It's a bit weak. What we're doing here. Was it with the 6 constant mitzvahs, the program that we've been doing for the last 49 days, 48 days, seems to be a much stronger way of surviving through pretty much anything, hardship, hard times. Obi-Wan Kenobi is basically falling apart. I guess he gets it back together in about 8 years or so when A New Hope happens. And he turns it into, into Alec Guinness. But right now, I mean, like, honestly, I understand you having a wobble, but, like, you're supposed to be a Jedi Master, you know? Master means you master some of this stuff. So, you know, I just think it's a bit of a depressingly weak system they got going on there. Okay, but before we get into today's lesson, can I see the like, share, and subscribe button? That is Fandabby, a Fandabby double dozy. So we've been doing this thing called, as I said, 6 constant mitzvahs, 6 mitzvahs, 6 Old Testament commandments surrounding your interpersonal connection with God, right? It's supposed to supercharge your connection with God and really, you know, help you get through pretty much anything, right? That's the function of it, right? If it's get through everything, get you through anything with maintaining your connection with God, not being like Obi-Wan bloody Kenobi, right? That's the function of it. So what are these 6 commandments? Knowing there's a God, that's the first big one. Not having any other gods before him. I mean, not acting as if anything has power other than God. God is one. That's the third one. There is nothing other than God, right? Everything else is illusion, right? It's an illusion made to give you a feeling of individuality. But there really can't be one, because if there's an infinite, there's nothing else. We've learned about loving God, we learned about fearing God, and we've learned about not going after your hearts and your eyes. No, we never talked about the why it says hearts instead of singular. It's essentially because we have many different passions, right? We have many different passions. And that's why they speak about it in plural. But you know, yeah, it really, this whole this final commandment one that we've been going over really brought it home to me today. Like brought it home to me about what is the problem with the world today, right? Yeah, if the commandment is to not follow after your hearts and your eyes, right? It means don't let your passions govern your decision making or your thinking. Let your thinking passion govern your passion, even though the passion is the thing that guides you. Like, yeah, we see today, people will find any intellectual reason to justify the way they feel, right? And they don't care how hypocritical and dishonest they're being. That it's the opposite of of this commandment. Yeah, and also I think there's another commandment where you're not supposed to put a stumbling block in front of a blind person. Well, that's kind of normal, but you know, we kind of mean to do that. But that's really what I think these social media giants have done, right? Because they are prohibiting truth and curating truth and saying that falsehood is truth and truth is falsehood, which they do. I mean, like a lot of the time. I mean, it's really crazy. How can you let your the data, your information, your mind, your reasoning govern your passions? Right, because that reasoning isn't correct. That the information you have to make your decisions from isn't correct, isn't true, and it's designed to inflame your passions and make you do whatever they want you to do. Which is essentially why we had the bizarre sights of these the George Floyd riots a couple of years ago, the 2020 election, where it was like, that was the weirdest thing, right? That was the weirdest. We had 4 years of people saying the election was absolutely hacked and stolen, no question about it whatsoever, and they put millions and millions of dollars into it, and it never happened. And now there's like quite a lot of evidence that it needs to be investigated, right? It clearly needs to be investigated. And if you say that, I mean, I can't say it too clearly here. You say that, then it's the worst thing in the world. It's really, really bizarre. But that's basically the command we're going over here. So now we're going to do a review of the whole thing. As I said, like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack, all those things are good, right? So not going after your hearts and eyes is the commandment that protects the other 5 that precede it. It means it is a means of assuring our success in implementing the other constant mitzvahs, the constant commandments, and preventing us from becoming blinded by emotions and cravings. I have quite a few cravings, let me tell you, that run counter to the outlook on life that we have developed through the study of the constant mitzvah, the commandment. The heart, which represents the seat of emotion, often sends us messages that really contradict reality. And again, look out the window, mate. In the spiritual realm, those messages might manifest themselves as feelings of regret, or for our choices to devote ourselves to Bible study and a service to God, right? Service to God. Those feelings might not be accompanied with an overwhelming drive Those feelings may not be accompanied by an overwhelming drive to act incorrectly, but they will nevertheless cast a pall over our service to God. I didn't understand it at all. Okay, the heart receives an emotion, sense of contradictory messages. In the spiritual world, messages manifest as feelings of regret for our choices. Oh, I see. Fine. It's the heart may make us regret our choices to try and be a servant of God, right? Because up is down, black is white. If you let your passions run amok. The eyes perceive sights that can lead to cravings, which can overwhelm us and distract us from the truth we have come to know, just long enough for us to cause us to sin. It doesn't take that long. Since emotions and cravings are hard to quell once they begin to fester, the key to success is prevention. Now, some prevention is better than a pound of cure. Thus, the commandment is phrased: "Do not stray after. Don't go after your heart and your eyes, rather than straying after your heart and eyes." It says, "Don't stray after your heart and eyes, rather than straying after your heart and eyes. Put these essential organs to put these the second half sentence. Put these essentials organs in the service of God, so they may not be free to wander. Instead of allowing yourselves to become subservient, let them serve you." Right? It's very good advice, right? If you do not control any part of you, they will control you, right? And your passions will control you. Again, look, compassion has run out of control, and now our compassion has become cruelty. It's like untold how many little girls are getting double mastectomies right now. Are being sterilized. It's like, how many children is this happening to? It's shocking, right? It's terrifying. It's horrible. So the practical applications of not going after your heart and eyes. Number 1, develop a strong emotional bond with the Bible, with commandments, with service of God, and it will fill your heart with emotions to promote your quest for perfection, and thereby prevent you from developing contradictory emotions. Well, I have to tell you, I've still got plenty of contradictory emotions. Avoid situation in which your eyes may see something that could lead you to sin, because a craving can develop from the slightest perception. That is true. We can also develop cravings for spirituality, which manifest themselves as learning to choose correctly as a matter of routine, but not out of rote, right? Yeah, it's like training yourself to go the right way, but again, not as a matter of rote. As a completion to the Cheshbon and Nefesh process, the spiritual counting we spoke about several times, that we started in the fearing God section. Set a time occasionally to review your insights that you gain during your study of these 6 constant commandments. This will ensure you will not become distracted, and that your emotions still reflect upon those commandments and the purpose they represent. Okay. And the additional effect of not going after your hearts and eyes, right? The first of five commandments require us to have a specific thought process, right? So with faith, it requires us to ensure that our actions reflect our knowledge of God's existence and His purpose in creating the universe. Namely, for us to perfect ourselves, and so we can enjoy the reward that we have learned in the world to come. Not having other gods adds an awareness that no other forces have the power to influence us, and the requirement to live our lives only for the purpose of creation. In the oneness of God teaches us that all exists is the only thing that exists is God, and that all forces and circumstances in this world are there to bring us closer to perfection. In loving God requires us to feel love for God and enjoy participating in the quest for perfection. And the fear of God is the commandment. To fear the possibility of ruining ourselves, our lives, by ignoring the purpose of creation. So we have not going after outside comes and protects all of those ones. Why? It requires you to take a step beyond getting distracted and losing sight of our true goals. Yeah, it means that this is the practical application, right? The practical application of everything we've done, right? And that's really the way to make things work, right? The philosophy is only good enough for a certain extent. Got to be action, right? You got to put your body into it, right? And you got to find new ways of putting your body into it always, because things get stale, things get rote. Say, I learned this a few years ago. I'm studying it again now. It's kind of fresh. It's kind of new. Always be churning. Always be churning and trying to find new ways of looking at the same thing, right? Because you got to always make it fresh. Why? Because the heart is the captain of the ship, which is what the whole point of this commandment was. So join me tomorrow. We're going to go for an overview of the whole thing. We're going to wrap everything up. Again, I'm recording this in the dim mist of the past. Tomorrow is the Jewish holiday of Shavuot, or Shavuos, depending how you pronounce it. At dawn is when God appeared at Mount Sinai. And generally speaking, if you wake early, right, a really good time to pray is dawn, right? That's a little Jewish tradition. As the sun comes up is the time when God has this massive amounts of mercy, right? Which is why he appeared at that time, because it was an expression of mercy. So if you were awake at that time, I hope you take advantage. All right, I hope you take advantage, and I hope you don't feel taken advantage of. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.